Welcome back, Leo. It's July 2019. Dadhichi here with your monthly forecast. And I'd like to start by saying that I do subscribe to the idea that the past is a graveyard. Nothing at all in the past really, especially bad stuff that's happened to you, is worthwhile worrying about. And I'm going to animate this chart so you can see what I'm talking about here, because straight away around the 3rd, you notice here this major total solar eclipse taking place here in your 12th house. The 12th house is the past. 12th house is all those hidden things in the closet. They also say the 5th house has to do with your past karma from previous lives. But the reason I bring this up is because the eclipse may well bring up a whole lot of stuff from the past, from the graveyard. It's going to resurrect all those zombies, those events, those people, those things in your past you are trying to escape from. And my suggestion is you just keep busy and don't let yourself fall into that trap. Here you see this opposition. It's actually a continuation from last month's reading, in fact, where we had Mars, which on the 5th moves into your sun sign. And there you see Mercury and the moon also shifting away from that. But even though they move out of there pretty quickly, you'll still feel a bit of lag from this. You're carrying your past into everything you're doing. And that last month, if you recall, I was talking about Mars and Saturn causing that frustrating sort of a combination of energies, which is sort of like having your foot on the brake and on the accelerator at the same time. And this may relate to things in the past you wish you hadn't done, people you wish you hadn't connected with. And so you need to move forward with a clear understanding that everything that's happened in the past has shaped you to become who you are right now. Mars and Mercury here make you somewhat belligerent, a bit angry, and later in the month you'll notice that the Sun moves back into what we call the solar return. That's going to happen on the 22nd. I'm a little bit ahead of myself here, but that's going to accentuate what's going on here with Mercury and Mars. This is a very combative combination. We see here some good opportunities around the 14th and 15th with the Moon and Jupiter combining. And then a lot of work stuff here. I'm going to pause it for a moment, where we move into this full moon phase on the 17th, but not before the moon makes contact with Saturn, which makes you somewhat heavily engaged in your work, and maybe too seriously so. This 6th house has to do with the people you engage, people you employ. And this also has a lot to do with your past. The eclipses that we just mentioned, and also the full moon phases, new moon phases, all occur on this karmic axis, which has to do with your past life and all that genetic stuff, the zombies that we're talking about, and where you're going in future and how you're going to use that. You are shaped by your past, no doubt about that. But that's dead and gone. You can't do anything about that. Some of that stuff could be what precipitates some of this other problematic Mercury-Mars argumentative energies. You'll also notice that Mercury's retrograde throughout this period, right up until the very last day where it goes stationary, gets ready to move forward, but that won't happen until August. Here we see Venus and the Sun still working their way through all this past stuff, and this also has to do with expenses. Now Mercury retrogrades back there around the, let me have a look here, I've got it retrogrades on the 8th, but there about 17th, 18th, it'll move back into this area of expense. So you need to really reappraise how you are managing your funds, and notice that this Mercury's gone back into this 12th house, which has to do with the past. Now, there may be some things you've committed to financially, only to find later that, no, I shouldn't have done that. Here also we see your sun sign receives that welcoming, well, the welcome home to your ruler, the sun. And this makes you very competitive, maybe even a little bit aggressive when Mars and the sun are together. These are two very first-rate planets for you. It gives you a lot of dynamic energy. This is towards the end of the month. You see yourself really picking up in your physical energies. So although you've got all this other stuff psychologically, spiritually, karmically working, I think it's this stuff here, your Sun and Mars energy, that's going to lift you out of that and give you the power to make headway and to just let go of those things that aren't serving you anymore. So I think this eclipse and the full moon is all about very much appraising the value of things in your life at this point. And rather than holding on to those things, if they're not serving you anymore, it really is time to let go of that stuff. The nice thing here is Venus towards the end of the month, last couple of days of the month, you'll be happy to note that a softer sort of energy. It's a career planet for you. So that brings you back into more focus into the career rather than all this stuff. And also a way to present yourself perhaps in a different manner than what you normally do. So that's an excellent end to the month. Again, the theme for you is the past is a graveyard. So before next month, don't forget to pop in to astrology.com.au. There's a whole lot more information on that. I'm just producing a few other videos and pieces of work there that can help you navigate through this minefield of heavy eclipses. I'd invite you to take a look at that, daily, monthly, yearly readings, and also avail yourself of any personal work that I can help you with. Drop me a line if you'd like to investigate that more. More than happy to respond to you. Take care, and I'll see you again next month. Bye-bye.